Michelle, thank
Hi,
you for
Bradley.
joining me. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thank you for joining me with this chat today. Michelle, let's just kick it off with a quick introduction of who you are, just a brief
Okay.
intro.
So, Michelle is a social worker, a medical and palliative social worker based in Johannesburg, and I've been in private practice since 2016. I do sessions for patients in person as well as remote and virtual support.
Oh, great. And then tell me, in your experience, what benefit does an advanced care bring to patients and their families?
An advanced care directive allows the patient to be able to discuss their wishes with their families, and the expectations as well of how they want their care to be done when they reach the end of life stage. So it allows the patient to have that conversation with the family and the family to be able to clarify, ask questions, and make sure that they're also on board and they understand exactly what the patient's wishes are.
Okay. Yeah. And then with just to follow up on that question is the key barriers that you face or you've encountered on when initiating these discussions, more so
Mm,
for patients that's fearful or resentful towards having these discussions.
yeah.
How do you introduce these topics?
Yeah. So, with the challenges, I often find that it's a little bit more difficult to initiate these conversations with patients that have limited insight into their prognosis. And in that case, the first thing would be to help them process their prognosis, be able to deal with it and come to acceptance. Once they've accepted, they're a little more receptive to discussing the advanced care directive. I also find that how you introduce it also is a factor. If you use softer language, they tend to be more receptive. Like, for example, instead of saying, this is where you're at, we need to discuss it, we need to put it in place, you could say, let's have a backup plan in place. We're hoping that things will go well, but just in case they don't go well, let's put this in place just in case. And they tend to be more receptive when you use softer language with them.
Okay, great. That's good to know as well.
Yeah.
And then also with your intro, you mentioned that you also do the virtual only. I know that you're part of one of the few providers that is part of our virtual only model. So
Yes.
basically, could you, in your experience, what challenges or benefits do you find in these virtual sessions?
Mm. I'll start with the benefits. Virtual support has allowed us to reach patients and families that we would otherwise not be able to reach, and they would be without support. Patients that are living in remote areas, patients that are harder to reach. Now we're able to get and to access them because of virtual support. So there's definitely value in that. With that said, virtual support comes with its own challenges. Like, for example, busy with a session, a patient that's crying. If you're in person, you could reach out and comfort them, for example. But if you're doing a virtual consult, that's out. So you're having to rely on other skills. We also have technological difficulties as well. Sometimes videos freeze halfway through. And by the time you come back and the technological issue is resolved, the moment has passed. And you might find that it's a little bit difficult to get back the momentum that you had built with the patient. So technology does come with its challenges, but there's definitely more value in it. The value is definitely there compared to the challenges.
Okay, it's great to know that the benefits outweigh the challenges.
Yes.
And then also, just to end off, what is the best advice that you would give to patients, families that is navigating end of life stages?
Mhm. Communication. It's important for patients to communicate their concerns, their worries, their wishes, their expectations, their anxieties with their families. And the same for the families as well, to discuss this with the patients, because otherwise, if everyone is just sitting with their emotions, they're isolated in their distress. But if they share, you might find that in sharing, they're able to find solutions that they may otherwise not have been able to do so if they had kept things to themselves. You might find that in sharing a concern, another family member may have an idea to say, hey, this is how we could address your concern. For an example, you may find that a parent is worried about what is going to happen to their children after they've passed. If they don't have a conversation, there's not going to be a plan around it. Whereas if they have a conversation with their family, they may be able to say, okay, this is the plan that we're putting in place to make sure that the children are taken care of after the parent has passed.
Okay. So communication is key, as they would say.
Communication, yes.
I would love to thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. It was great, and also getting some insight and knowledge of your experience.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
having me. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.